I always put them on the tire so I don't forget where they're at. That way it doesn't get dropped on the pavement or scratch up your car or anything. Alright, ladies and germs, we have a good one. We have one with several lines in it. It's a warm day. A very warm day, actually. This line opens. This line, no. Oh, that line, look at that. I barely touched it and it went down to there. It was already there, it just wasn't opened all the way. That one opens. That one opens. That one really likes to open. That one opens. And I don't see any invisible lines anywhere at the moment. So I can do my open and close on this one, and it doesn't seem like it's going to go any farther. Hopefully not. Alright. This is a nerve-wracking one here because of the fact that the lines are opening so easily. I've got my shade. And it's a very warm day today. Well, it's in the 50s. I say it's a warm day. It's in the 50s. I think my drill bit's getting dull again. Gotta replace it. I don't like dull drill bits. You have to push on them too hard. And they work the drill too hard. So it's better to replace them when they're hard to push into the glass. Better to just replace them. Drill bits are cheap, guys. Don't cheap out. I hope you can see what I'm doing here. I know on the last video I didn't have the camera set quite right. I had it set a little too high, actually, I believe. If I remember correctly, I had it set just a little too high. So you really couldn't see a lot of me opening and closing the lines and such. You could see it a little bit, but not a lot. So I do have the shade on the glass because he's facing directly into the sunlight, and like I said, it's a warm day. Windshield's nice and warm. Gonna use our CR resin because I believe I get a better fill with it than I do the thin. And I will have to use the thin eventually on really cold days. If the glass isn't neutral or warm to the touch, I will have to use the thin. But for now, we can continue using the CR resin. And here we go. I hate the sun reflecting off the glass right there. It makes it difficult for me to see. There we go. Maybe I can cover that with a rag. Oh yeah, that's much better. Now I can actually see what I'm doing. What do you know, huh? Okay, we just want to get the resin to start flowing into the lines. A little bit of pressure, a little bit of pressure. Get it to start flowing. Here we go. This bottom line is opening up to let the resin in. I barely touch it and it opens. I don't even have to use my tool. I can use my finger. I don't know if you can see that, you have to look in the mirror. I just barely touch it with my finger, it opens. That's a scary line right there, ladies and gentlemen. When they open that easily, you have to be really careful. I want that resin to flow in there, but at the same time, I don't want to put too much pressure on it. See, I can open it from clear back here. That's crazy, right? Those aren't opening that easily. But this line right here, if you look in the mirror, I'll see if I can zoom in. You can see it open when I just touch it with my finger. So I don't even need to use my probe on this one. I'll just hold it open with my finger. I can feel exactly how much pressure I'm putting on the glass. The rest of them are filling in nicely already. Let's go ahead and pull a vacuum. And we'll open that line under a vacuum. See if it'll fill a little bit more, because a lot of times when you're sucking the air out, the resin will flow in. So I've never had one that opened so easily with just a finger like this. But yeah, it opens real easily. Yeah, the resin's flowing right in there. Alright, let's pull a full vacuum. And we'll pressurize again. We want these lines to get full all the way to the tips if we can. Now you'll notice when I start feeling the pressure, I see the cup open a little bit. I'm very, very light on the pressure. And like I said, this one I can just open it with my finger to let the resin flow in. And I hope you can see it in the mirror, me opening it with my finger. Trying to zoom in with the editing program for you, but I can't zoom in with the camera itself, so I have to do it in editing, but hopefully you can see it. Yeah, this is a crazy repair. I've never had one that I could just push open with my finger so lightly. Just barely touching it with my finger and she's opening right up. The rest of the lines are almost full. That's a beautiful thing. This one's filling in good. It's getting less and less visible when I push on it to open it. That means it's filling in nice. Gentleman said he got this rock chip today. It's a Saturday for me. I'm not exactly sure what day you're seeing this video, but it's a Saturday for me. Pull a partial vacuum. Let's get the rest of the air out of this particular line right here. See, when I do the push, the open and close technique, because I've got a vacuum on it now, when I open it, the air tries to go into the tool, and when I release it, it closes and it forces that air further up the line to the tool. And it's exactly the backwards reaction when I have it pressurized. It's the exact opposite reaction. The resin's pressurizing the line, so when I push on the line to open it, the resin forces into the line, and when I let it go and it closes, there's nowhere else for the resin to go except farther up the line. It's the only place it can go once you open it and let it close again. The resin can only go farther up the line. It can't go back to the tool because you got pressure on the tool. I believe she's filling in good. I can still see it when I open it, which I don't particularly care for that, but this is a nerve-wracking, okay, now it's getting less visible. This is a nerve-wracking repair, my friends. Somebody else was saying in a comment that they get extremely nervous when the lines open this easily, and I don't blame you, I get nervous too. But you have to have confidence in yourself and know your abilities and know that you can repair it. That's all that really matters. You have to have confidence in yourself. pretty much invisible when I push on it now. Good. That one's full. Alright, that one's filled in. Beautiful thing. Now we can leave that pressure on there for a second while I dig out my other tool here. Let's see if we can get this one to fill all the way. I can see the resin flowing into it. Wow, look at this line, guys. When I push up here, that bottom line opens. Look at that. See if you can see that in the mirror. That's pushing clear up here and that bottom line opens. My goodness. So see, you just have to monitor everything because you've got pressure on the tool itself, and every time you push on the windshield, that line wants to open. Because you have pressure on the tool itself, so you have to be aware of that and just know that it's trying to open on you every time you touch it. Every time you touch the glass somewhere, that line's trying to open up again. Most likely won't be 100% invisible. But I always say that. Alright, I can move my umbrella and let that cure. I'll be right back, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to go put my umbrella away. Alright, I'm back again. I think this has had time to cure. Let's find out. No, not quite. Not quite. Let's hit it with the light real quick. You notice I shine my light on my orange thing or a fluorescent rag or something so I can tell that it's on. Because you cannot see this light. The camera can see it reflecting in the mirror. But with the naked eye, you can't see this light at all. It's invisible to me. And the UV from the sun just isn't strong enough this time of year to really cure the chips, unless I want to spend 10 or 15 minutes just standing around, which I don't. I've got other customers I've got to get to, so I can't really do that. If it was my last customer of the day, then sure, I could stand around and BS for a while. I like doing that on the last customer of the day. Stand around and shoot the shit for a little while and just have a conversation. But for the most part, I've got to get going. But you have to plan yourself out to know that not every chip is going to be the same. Not every chip is going to be a 10-minute repair. Oh yeah, now she's cured. So like with this one, being very careful with it, didn't take very long. honestly. It could have took a lot longer, but if it was colder, it would have took longer. But then again, if it was colder, I may have had him leave it in the garage and taken care of it in there. But it's a beautiful day. Hard to believe it's December. But I was telling everybody we were going to have a mild winter this year. Nobody believed me. Of course, it's not winter yet, not till December 21st. But I was telling everybody there's ways. I've been an outside worker my entire life. And there's ways to know what winter's going to bring. And one way to know is in the early fall, like in November, if you see, wow, the inside of his windshield is filthy. Alright, yeah, I can barely see the lines, and that's only because the sun is reflecting on it from right over there. He's a vapor. You can tell he vapes. He's not a smoker because the car doesn't stink. But he is a vapor because the windshield is just covered in oil. That, my friends, is a beautiful repair. Turned out wonderful. And I'm putting a lot of pressure. I do that when I wipe the windshield off. Especially with a line like that. I put a lot of pressure on the glass when I'm wiping it off. And I don't see any of the lines opening. So that means they're completely filled. Alright guys, that's it for this video. Oh yeah, I was going to tell you there's ways to know what winter's going to be like. I mean, look. In November, our trees were still green. The grass is still green. This is Salt Lake City, Utah, guys. This is Salt Lake City, Utah. It's the first part of December. Grass is still green. Trees are still green. Winter is 4 days before Christmas, and I told everybody it was going to be a mild winter. Look, the tree is still green. It hasn't even changed colors yet. Some trees have changed colors. Some trees are starting to change color. But for the most part, they changed colors up in the mountains already. I mean, I went for a ride up in the hills and looked at all the fall colors in mid-October, late October, which was a beautiful ride for me on the bike. But that's my transportation right there. But the valley down here, nothing's changed. Some of the leaves you can see on that big tree, that poplar over there, those leaves have turned and they're falling off. These are turning red. Those are turning red. But look, our grass is still green. It's going to be a very mild winter. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, that's it. I appreciate it if you'd click the subscribe button, hit the like button, share the videos, and throw me some love. I'll see you in the next one.